Yo, this is Andrew with AS Movies and Games. Joining me as always is Gabefornow.
Hello.
And Dave's not here. Today we're gonna sit down.
Did you introduce yourself as Dave?
No, I said Andrew.
Oh.
It's just a catchphrase, remember?
Oh.
Just like you've unlocked a bonus stage is our catchphrase. So anyway, we're here to talk about our favorite SNES games, or SNES, or Super Famicom.
Super Famicom?
Yeah.
Super Family Computer.
Super Family or Computer.
Did they actually call it that in English in Japan? Or did they have like a Japanese word for it?
I think that's when they started giving up on calling it the Family Computer Entertainment System, and they just went with the Super Famicom. So I guess that makes sense because it's kind of a long name, the Family Computer.
The Super Family Computer?
Yeah. Well, as probably most would agree, at least anybody who's a retro gamer, the SNES is quite possibly one of the best platforms there's ever been for gaming.
Pretty solid.
PlayStation's pretty great, and of course some of our modern consoles and the graphics and other things that have come out are pretty good too. But I don't know about anybody else, but I still find myself going back to SNES and Super Famicom era games, trying them out, taking them for a spin, or it's a really great way to do a little bit of casual gaming, especially if you're not going to be spending a ton of time.
Yeah, it's just one of those solid systems that's just
kind of timeless really at this point.
Yeah.
There's some great games for the system. Super Castlevania was a wicked game.
I never played that, I don't think.
Yeah.
I had a Sega, so you guys can throw fruit if you want now. So.
Boo. No, actually, I think that was sort of a common thing here in North America where people didn't immediately jump onto the SNES and they actually went with the Sega first.
Everybody I knew had like a Super Nintendo, and I was like the outcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had those arguments at school. Which one's better? I'm like, Sega's better. Like, I was all on board. I was like, that's what I own, so it must be better. So I like Sonic the Hedgehog, and then they're all like, no.
Sonic's cool.
We have Street Fighter, and I'm like, well, we have Mortal Kombat, and we have a Blood Code, so there.
I actually like Street Fighter better than Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry, I never liked Mortal Kombat that much. I'm probably weird in that way.
I think we had Street Fighter on, but there was only 3 buttons.
For Street Fighter?
Yeah, I think we had Street Fighter on Sega.
Oh, I see. Right, and I think there was a Mortal Kombat for Super Nintendo as well.
But you needed to get another controller with 6 buttons because the Sega. Yeah, now that I think about it, Sega was kind of stupid. There's 3 buttons.
They didn't quite know what they were doing.
In an age where you need more than 3 buttons.
Like, it's one of those classic things where a console, yes, may have better graphics.
Decided on a design and then, oops.
Yeah.
That really limits our, like, production options.
Exactly. Like, it might have better graphics or more processing power, but that in itself does not make a superior console. I think we found that out with the PlayStation 3 as well. It was the most powerful console of that era. It just was really difficult to develop for. Super Mario World, easily one of the best games on the system.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. That's kind of a timeless classic too, because also I think it came with the system, right?
I think so. In some cases, not always. It's one of those games that if you start playing, you can't really put down.
Yeah.
You have to like finish it in 2 days or 3 days. Even the Star Road stuff.
Especially as a kid, you're just like, oh, there's more levels.
Yeah, there's a ton of levels in that once you start unlocking all of them. And you'd have to know the alternate routes to unlock some of them too.
I'm pretty sure there's a way you could beat it in like a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, you can get to Bowser pretty quickly if that's what you desire.
I think I've seen somebody do it. They're like, yeah, I only have to go through like 7 different levels, and I'm like, isn't there like 90 levels here?
Yeah.
Or something? I don't know.
I think there's over 100, but that sort of makes it boring, I think. Another game that I'm now recalling, and I'm pretty sure it was kind of close to launch at the time, was Ultraman. I'm pretty sure in retrospect it wasn't that great of a game, but I thought it was pretty cool when it came out.
The Ultraman, like the Power Rangers precursor?
Kind of. There was like a series in Japan. It was sort of like Kamen Rider as well. basically just a group of superheroes known as the Ultramen, and each one's a little different, and you'd be like fighting Godzilla or monsters or whatever.
Giant robots.
Yeah. Well, they looked robotic. I don't know that they were robots.
Were they not giant?
Yeah, actually, they were giant. Yeah.
They're just always giant.
Well, yeah, maybe that's their superpower or whatever.
You're not a superpower. You're just big.
Yeah. You were saying about Super Metroid. I wish I actually had a chance to play it a little more, because I know it's a really great game.
Yeah, it's. I wasn't able to play it when it was like when it came out. I don't think I even really played it on a Super Nintendo, but I tried to play it on a ROM later on.
Yeah.
And the ROMs weren't up to speed, so it was like the frame rate was slower. So I didn't actually get to play anything really like Super Metroid until the Game Boy Advance came out with Metroid Zero and Metroid Fusion, because I had the GameCube, and I had the little box that you stick under it where you could stick the advanced games into the box and play it off your full-size TV.
Okay, yeah.
So it was pretty much the same. It's almost the same as Super Nintendo Game Boy Advance.
Gotcha.
Pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool peripheral there. I liked Pilot Wings a lot. I can't say as much for future Pilot Wings games, but I definitely liked the original for the Super Famicom. Played it quite a bit.
I didn't even know it was on. I thought it was like a N64 thing.
Yeah, I think that was the second one, if I remember correctly. Zelda, of course, Link to the Past, easily one of the best games on the system too. I can't say that I've played many Zeldas after that.
No. You don't
but I've
need
at least
to.
seen them. And
anything after Link to the Past is just ruining a memory.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm pretty sure there's people out there that would agree.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Put your mask away, nobody likes you. Okay, and that flute is stupid.
The flute, okay.
Ocarina.
Yes.
Hey, Ocarina.
Which did, it wasn't earlier games, of course. The Ocarina. I think Link started using it in Link to the Past.
Yeah, there was a
earlier.
flute. There was a flute.
Yeah.
It was a harmonica. What are you talking about? It was a kazoo.
No, it was not a kazoo. It was a harp.
It was Link's kazoo.
No, it was a harp guitar.
And he blew on it.
Okay.
Shut up, Gabe.
The Breath of Fire games. Did you ever play those?
Because I was so deprived or silly to buy the Sega instead of the the Super Nintendo. I did end up playing like Breath of Fire on the PlayStation and the Game Boy Advance, and I did like what I did play. Mm-hmm. But
I enjoy those style games occasionally, kind of this simulation or combat, like turn-based combat games.
It was a little different than like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Are you saying?
Yeah. It's quite a bit different, in fact.
Is that the one
it's
where
a little more like tactics?
You can run around and get away from the enemy, or?
Yeah. Well, you could only move so many spaces in one turn.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe it was really different on the Super Nintendo.
Maybe. The original Famicom actually had a few games like that, now that I think of it. I think there was a Gundam game that was turn-based simulation combat as well, and I liked that one. Then there was Chrono Trigger. There's actually some...
All right.
There's some great RPGs actually for the Super Nintendo system.
Chrono Trigger has to be one of my all-time favorites, but I never got to play it until I owned a PlayStation and it was re-released.
Same. I actually found it to be a little short.
I don't know. I actually never beat it.
Oh, really?
No, I got up to the Magus, whatever, and I defeated him on the castle without killing him, and John was like, "Oh, you didn't kill him, did you? Because that's
Magus.
how you get the better ending." And I'm like, "Sweet." And then I go back to play it sometime later, and my save has been like just gone. It's just something happened and it's gone. I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Yeah, because you can... Magus will join your party if you let him live.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, really cool. There was a Contra game, Contra 3.
It's like I'm not playing through that again.
I never played Contra 3, so I can't really speak to that, but I assume it was pretty good. And then other RPGs, of course, Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6, at least in Japan, would have been on the Super Famicom.
Final Fantasy 3, the North America, everybody knows.
That's probably the only one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
That one was wicked.
Six.
Again, I never beat it, but
6 and or 3 for me is still the very best RPG of all time.
1, 3, and 7, I think. 1 just because it's 1.
Final Fantasy 1?
Even though I wouldn't really play it again, but
for me, easily, I guess 5, 6.
Just the first
5, 6, 7, but not in that order. 6, 7, 5. I go. 5 was cool because of the job system. I think that was the first time they'd introduced that, so you could switch classes.
Oh yeah.
And then 6 just, I don't know. It had everything. It had the.
Those were all PlayStation games to me though, because I didn't know them as cartridge games.
I seem to recall that they played a little bit slow on the PlayStation.
They do, yeah.
And I'm like, that's terrible. You should actually be able to speed them up because they're long games. They're not games that you want to sit there and draw them out any longer than they already are.
Something's off about those games.
The ports.
Yeah, when you don't play it on the actual. I assume when you play it in a cartridge, it's all solid state. It's there.
It's smooth. Like it could be faster, but it's decently fast. It works.
Yeah.
I believe there was a re-release for Dragon Quest 3 for the Super Nintendo system as well. That was quite good. That was a good example of an RPG that they more than ported, they improved upon, and then made it way quicker. So walking around the map was fast, battle was fast, exactly as the game probably should have been in the first place.
I don't think RPGs need super long battles when you have like a battle every couple of feet.
That's it, yeah.
What was that one game that was terrible for that?
I don't even know.
No, it was on.
There's a few that cause you to grind and.
Oh no! Like the boss at every fight was like it takes you like 10 minutes to half an hour.
Oh.
This is ridiculous. Like the new Final Fantasies too, I think.
Well, Dragon Warrior 7 was kind of like that. It was for PlayStation, and it was also known as Dragon Quest 7. Oh. That's a whole can of worms.
Too long and too short is just not.
No, in the world of RPG, it's unacceptable. Yeah. And there were some great games that were kind of short. Secret of Mana 2. I think it just came out as Secret of Mana here. And I love that game too. It was a little glitchy.
Is that the one where you like run around and you always have like that girl following you? And
yeah, you have 2 party members.
You can switch between them?
Like spellcasters. Yeah, you could switch between them. You could change weapons.
I think I played that on the ROMs briefly. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Loved it. You could change between a sword and a boomerang and a spear. It was super cool. Loved it. You could level them up, and unfortunately sometimes you could miss the power-ups, so then you could only level up your weapons to a certain point as well. But I played that thing to death, man. F-Zero.
Oh, geez, my cousins had those. We played the crap out of that game.
Yeah. Fun game.
I didn't realize how stiff the controls were until I tried to go back to it.
They really are.
Like when I was a kid, it was like whatever. But
for its time.
Yeah, when I went back to it, I was like, geez, this is hard to control. How can anyone go any faster than a crawl?
That's sort of like how I played Mario Kart recently. It's just this thing. I'm like, this is weird, but I guess I remember how, just because muscle memory.
I remember playing like Mortal Kombat, like on the Sega, years later. Like, yeah. And I remember, I'm like, okay, punch, and I push the punch button, and then I let go, and then he punches. So I push it, have enough time to push, and then bring my thumb back up, and then the punch happens. I'm like, are you serious? Like, Slowest reaction ever. So you probably had to like wire your brain to like time it. Your brain just kind of made up for the difference and it seemed okay.
That's hilarious. Another good RPG actually was Illusion of Gaia.
Sounds familiar.
I don't think I played that one till much later as well, so I didn't play it when the Super Famicom originally came out. I think some people said it was kind of short. I think it takes about as long as it takes you to solve the puzzles. So it's one of those games where it's an RPG, but it also has kind of a puzzle component. And then there was actually a section that was the Wall of China, and it was just a huge, massive maze, and it was like hundreds of rooms spread out. So it wasn't exactly. I guess for some people you could run through it really fast without collecting treasures or whatever, but
Bomberman
games.
Definitely the Bomberman.
Definitely fun games to play, especially with your friends. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country.
The Lion King. Were you a Lion King fan?
I don't think I played the
Aladdin.
I think, although I've not played it, I heard it was pretty good.
Do you guys? I think Echo the Dolphin was a Sega thing. Was that Sega?
Yeah, I think so. I know what you're talking about.
You guys didn't have that. Echo the Dolphin is good, but that's not Nintendo.
No. Another, game that it's not really a game, but Mario Paint was kind of a neat concept for the console. It's too bad that they could only expand on it so much for. I think it was kind of towards the end of the lifespan of the console, if I remember correctly. But Mario.
They did come out with a
couple of other games, I think. That you could use the mouse for.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You need a mouse and a keyboard, and it's only good for this game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
What else?
Mario RPG.
Yoshi. What was that one where he's carrying the baby Mario?
Yoshi's Island, also known as Super Mario World 2.
Yeah.
I didn't really play that.
I didn't really like it, but it was a Mario game. But it kind of pissed me off that you had to catch the baby every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think Super Mario World really kind of deserved a better follow-up than that.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's hard to follow, but
it's like, dude, it's just the same as Sunshine Mario. It's like, why did you do that? I don't want to squirt things with a hose.
No,
that's not what I play Mario for. Like, I'll jump on somebody's head, but I do not want to squirt things with a hose. Please get this off me.
But you think about it, and this is one of those consoles where there started to be Mario everything, right? There's Mario Paint, and then there's Mario RPG. So
Mario RPG. Oh yeah, that was another good one.
That was a really good game.
That was I forgot that was on Super Nintendo because I also have it on Game Boy.
Yeah. SimCity. I played that to death. Geez. I so love that game. How about you?
I was more of a PC for SimCity.
I like the PC version too.
And
it's a little different.
I sucked. So I was just like,
there's a strategy.
My strategy is at some point I get the monsters to come out of the sea and the comet to come break everything just because it's fun.
Right.
Because some people just want to watch the world burn.
Super Ghouls and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, whichever it is. That was quite good. And Super Double Dragon, of course. There's a few other supers that came along.
There's Carnage. Yeah, I remember that Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man.
It was called Carnage because Carnage was in it, and the cartridge was red. And that was pretty fun.
Okay.
At the time.
Interesting. Yeah.
Let us never mention The Tick.
The Tick.
Have you ever played that game?
No, I haven't.
Oh god. One of the worst games ever. It's like the Mick Kids of Super Nintendo.
Yeah. That would be why it's not on our list.
Best worst games ever.
And then some of the other ones that I personally owned that I liked. Dragon Quest V. That was the game that turned me on to RPGs. Without that game, I would not have played RPGs at all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You weren't a pen and paper dude?
No, I didn't do Magic the Gathering. I didn't do pen and paper RPGs. I did collect Gundam cards. Let me show you my collection.
How many Gundams are there?
Too many.
Really? I thought there was 4 or something.
They started with like the original Gundam series, and then with as far as the cards went, then they started creating like Samurai Gundam, and then they started creating just one after another. There was always like a new incarnation of Gundams in Japan. Dragon Quest VI, not as good as 5, but I would say still memorable and enjoyable. Power League 2, you saw me playing that today.
Is that what you were playing?
Yes, I think it's Super Power League 2, maybe. Made by Hudson Soft.
Baseball game?
Yeah. I rather enjoy Power League. Actually, I think there may have even been a 3 for Super Famicom, and I think I played it, but I don't own it. In fact, there's not a whole lot that I do own. What else do I have in my collection? I think I had a couple of games that allowed me to create either an RPG, or there was one that was called Desigmon that allowed you to create shooting games. Your
RPG Creator?
Yeah, it was...
God, those are...
It was actually not bad. It was kind of fun. But it's pretty time-consuming to create your own RPG as well.
What do you think of Uniracers?
What's that?
Unirace? You never played Uniracers?
I don't think so.
Oh god, that was a wicked game.
Was it?
Yeah, you're basically just like racing, and you're a unicycle. Oh jeez, you got to play Uniracers. It was actually one of the better games. It's like super simple concept, and kind of reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog, the way you just like drive a unicycle.
Right.
But that's all it is. You are the unicycle, and it's like they're alive or something. But yeah, it's and then you can go off jumps and do like backflips, and I could never get the controls right because I'd always flip the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then if you press like the R button or whatever button, you'd actually like torque like 3D, and like so instead of just flipping front to back, you'd actually be spinning. So you could like match those up and make combos of like two different torques. It was really 3D. Like it was like the 3D engine was implemented so that you could see. Yeah, the rest of the game was super simple. Like there was no real elaborate background or it just seemed like the 3D models of the unicycles were really what they focused on.
Which makes me think of Star Fox, because that was sort of the first game that implemented kind of the polygon structure into...
Yeah, I don't know if these are polygons, though.
Right.
It looked 3D. Maybe there's just a lot of different sprites.
Could be. There were some decent fighting games, but they never seemed to be quite as good as the ones in the arcade, like like Street Fighter. I guess there was Super Street Fighter as well.
The arcade.
Yeah, and there were numerous others too. Fatal Fury. There was one I always wanted, which was The Art of Fighting. In Japan, is Ryuko no Ken. And that game was for the Neo Geo console.
Yeah,
so
that sounds familiar.
A little obscure, but I really wanted a Neo Geo, man. But I guess these days I can probably find those games elsewhere without having to, fork out however... it was like probably $300-400 for the console.
That's one game.
There's a few Kirby games for the Super Nintendo. You play those at all?
I don't think so.
Mega Man X started rolling out as well.
Yeah, I remember really being interested in playing those, but I never owned them. So again, they were hard to get my hands on.
Well, X started adding sort of this dimension of the dash, and so, it's sort of that typical Japanese thing where every new game there would be another new thing to do, or not even typical Japanese.
It made it a little bit it made the story almost a little bit more dark. Yeah. For some reason they took out. It wasn't Dr. Wily anymore, was it? It was Reploids or whatever.
It was almost like a spin-off, right, of the original series.
Quite a different story altogether.
Yeah, they sort of. I think they just wanted to create something a little.
The
different.
Mavericks. It's like.
Like you could go and collect, you could give Mega Man the ability to do like a Hadouken and stuff like that. There's like secrets like that.
My PC's being overrun with pop-ups. Call Mega Man. It's going Maverick.
How's that gonna help you?
I don't know. He'll blow it up, and I won't have to worry about it.
Come on, Mega Man, blow up our PC pop-ups. Yeah.
It'd be sweet if you could make a firewall like that. The pop-ups come up, and then Mega Man just jumps out of your screen and shoots at it.
Right.
Never mind.
There's There's a couple of soccer games, Excite League, which I play a little bit as well. That's, I think, could be a Japanese exclusive also. Those are some of the ones that, you know, are fairly memorable, and some of our favorites as well. Any other games you can think of, Gabe, for now?
Bubble and Squeak.
What's Bubble and Squeak?
I don't know. I don't even know if it's the right system.
I'd assume. No, I don't know if it is. Well, they had its fair share of bad games as well, and that might be another conversation for another time. But so this is Andrew with Ace Movies and Games signing off.
See you later.